some of us are on different levels of awareness of visionary experiences, or remote viewing. Has anyone heard of remote viewing before? Yeah? Okay. When you go in the light, you may see lots of like mandalas of colours, and you may start to see shapes. As a remote viewer myself, I've remote viewed places, and also in the light I've found that I've seen like edges of buildings or like objects. I'm not sure what it is, because if your mind and your thoughts are with someone else around in the world somewhere, you've maybe got thoughts of an auntie in Australia or a friend down the road. When you're under this light machine, you're opening yourself up to light, as well as your psychic abilities, your intuitive abilities. Everyone here is psychic and in tune and intuitive. If you probably in yourself think, oh no, that's not me at all, I'm completely closed off. Maybe that's your mindset, but you know for yourself, I mean, you can all put your hands up, I know, that you've all had some sort of experience in your life which is probably beyond this reality, which you're getting intuition. We're all directed and led, and we all have signs, right? In one way or another. Even if you like, maybe you write music, or you're a musician, or you do carpentry, woodwork, it's every aspect of life. We relate the psychic world as being psychic only, and to do with only paranormal experiences. No, it's, you know, opening up ourselves to intuition and our psychic abilities comes from many different applications around the whole world, many different jobs and everything. This is where a lot of ideas come from being led by opening up our creativity of our mind, by really exploring your full potential, which the light machine does. So the Lucia lamp has 8 white flashing LEDs with a center spotlight. The Lucia shines white light at your closed eyelids, and the flickering white light uses your mind to generate colourful mandalas, patterns and shapes. The brain is able to heal the body at any stage of illness, spontaneous remissions. Light has played a central role in treatment of various conditions, including mood disorders, insomnia, anxiety, depression, tumours, compulsive and mental disorders. As I said also earlier about, you know, the Lucia light machine helping these benefits. Again, if people are prone to epilepsy or flashing lights, the programs we have 3 different type of settings. We have like an easy setting, medium setting, and a very strong. So if you're very sensitive to light, we can turn it really down, the intensity and the program, which is very subtle. So you can experience a very subtle light. I have people around me who go on the light machine and they be sitting here in this chair, and the light machine is over here, and sometimes it's closer. Some people are just so sensitive. We all have different sensitivities. And the programs could go on from like 5 minutes up to like 90 minutes, an hour and a half. So it depends how much you're willing to sit under it and have a go. Okay, so as I said earlier about dimethyltryptamine, DMT. The pineal is a light receptor, a pea-sized crystalline pine cone-shaped structure in the centre of our brain. It regulates our hormonal, reproductive and sleep cycles. And DMT, dimethyltryptamine, a natural occurring psychedelic compound, is found in all living plants such as peyote, mescaline, ayahuasca, magic mushrooms, etc. Not telling you guys to experience these, but these are found in certain in shamanic plant medicine, which people do use to help have these visioning experiences. So shamans and indigenous healers all around the world use these plants to reach a dimension of light consciousness where all healing begins. DMT is naturally manufactured and released by the pineal gland, and especially before we die as well. I don't know if any of you have had near-death experiences here, or you've heard stories, but as soon as you hit like a physical trauma within your body, DMT is released straight away to help you have a visionary experience, to help you know that you're having like a near-death experience, to protect you out of your body, so you don't feel that physical pain, so you don't go through that trauma. So it's a safety mechanism almost, you know. And we know, I mean, maybe you've been in a car before and you've got a car coming the other side of the road which has just, you know, overtook another car. Maybe you've had that feeling of here, like, oh no, okay, this is it, I'm going to die. And so you've probably had that experience before where you think, oh, this is the end, you know, what goes through your mind, okay? Like, that's a little snippet of what's happening. And sorry I'm talking about death here, it should be very lively and happy, but this is why we're here to talk about paranormal and psychicness. But that chemical within our brain is released to protect us fully out of our body, so we don't experience that trauma, that physical pain. There's stories I've read, people have been falling off of ladders, and before their body even hit the floor, they've seen themselves looking at their body in a near-death experience, like out-of-body state. So those chemical processes in our body related to consciousness help us like have a safety exit, basically. So, you know, people who do come back in their body, who've had that pain, who've had that near-death experience, you know, they've experienced these things being totally disconnected whilst they see their body in pain, which is actually a good thing, because you don't want to experience that pain physically. So this is part of what DMT can do. And there's a whole book written on DMT as well. So the calcification can, as I said earlier, from fluoride in water, the mercury, especially found in seafood as well. And does anyone know how the mercury gets in seafood? No? Okay, there's certain factories around the world, okay, which are near coastlines, maybe nuclear power plants, factories which burn a lot of like chemicals and they use mercury, and a lot of those gases and all those toxic waste goes out into the atmosphere. I mean, it doesn't just stay in the atmosphere, it comes down to the ground and into the sea water. So basically, the fish that you eat, and this is again why going vegan is very important, because do we really know what we put inside our bodies? That mercury that's going into the sea is then, you know, eaten by small fish. Those small fish are fed by other fish, and then, you know, we as human beings, some of us eat those fish, and we're absorbing that mercury. So if you believe that, oh no, I'm eating a pure diet, I eat fish, it's very healthy, you may need to relook at your lifestyle where, you know, these toxic substances are getting to your body, which you don't realise. We can't trust the food that's around us. Best way, grow it yourself, know where it's come from, if it's organic, and this can really benefit you in your whole life, in your psychic abilities, opening you up, making yourself a clear channel of consciousness, you know, either for yourself or for healing or mediumship, and this is all related. And again, it's part of the food chain. You know, we all, you know, it's the very smallest thing here that, you know, we trace ourselves back to the part of the food chain where we're eating this plant matter. You know, we want to be eating the purest, you know, the most healthiest for our bodies. And anatomically as well, our biology represents, I don't have any pictures here of that, but that we are truly herbivores, that we eat plants. There's many differences between carnivores and herbivores, completely different, and we tick most of the boxes of like herbivores, basically. Again, this is all related to the light machine. I know it's part of, I feel, diet, it's part of lifestyle, and if you can experience these things too, the light machine can greatly enhance those. The book, if anyone taking notes, it's called The Spirit Molecule by Rick Strassman. It's Rick, R-I-C-K, and then Strassman, S-T-R-A-S-S-M-A-N. And the book is called The Spirit Molecule. It's a really good book. It tells you everything about the DMT and out-body experiences, visionary experiences also. So the range of improvements of the Lucia light machine can improve many different areas of your life, as I said earlier, to do with sleep and creativity and more wakefulness. Also improve your relationships, believe it or not. It's, if any of you meditate, I'm sure a lot of you do. Yeah? Who doesn't? Does anyone not meditate? Can say yes. That's fine. You know, some people have their own outlooks in life where they don't feel they need to meditate. I do sometimes. I feel like I, you know, live my life in such a way I don't need a holiday. I feel like I'm balanced and relaxed. There's times when I do get meditative states where we reflect upon things. And when you go into the light machine, the light induces that relaxed feeling, gives you some visionary experiences, gives you some creativity, and sorry. So the reported benefits of the light machine are reduce anxiety and stress, reduce fear and depression, increased sense of inner peace and emotional stability, increased creativity, increased intuition, improved physical healing, and more restful sleep. So it also benefits from hormones and related to health and longevity. Again, our whole body, the many different layers of our body, such as like the nervous system, the respiratory system, endocrine system, the nervous system. This is all related. And if we think about the chakras, the chakra points of our body, they help feed different organs and different parts of our body and many different layers. And the main focus, the thinking point, is the physical part. That is our brain, where we think from. The center of our energy is from our heart, which is, when we say who we are, we point, we all point to us. When we point to me, for example, we point here. We don't point here, do we, sometimes? And talking about that is because the center of our being is our heart area. This is where we are. But the chemical processes within our brain which help facilitate everything will come from our brain, our mind. So with the Lucia light machine, it helps many benefits of deep meditation, for accessing expanded states of consciousness. The light stimulates temporal harmonic wave patterns in the brain, usually found only in the brains of people who have been meditating for decades. The light uses the theta state as well as high alpha patterns, often associated with joy, intuition, creativity, and high concentration. With a series of regular sessions on the light, you can literally train your brain for brain entrainment to reach this optimum state at will. Even after one session, it will be easier to drop into states of meditation as your brain knows where it's going. So, has anyone heard of binaural beats? Yeah? Okay. Some of you don't know what binaural beats are. It's been the research of audio frequencies, which have been around for over 50 years. First discovered by a guy called Robert Monroe in Virginia, in America, where he was a sound engineer and listened to different frequencies. He found that he was having spontaneous out-of-body experiences while listening to these frequencies, and so started to do some research in why this was happening. He eventually found out that by placing different frequencies in each ear, say 100 hertz in your left ear, and a difference of 105, 104 in your right ear, the difference of the 4 hertz inside your brain creates a whole brainwave pattern, which helps induce a theta brainwave state for deep meditation. There's different other brainwave states such as alpha, beta, theta, and delta. It also goes up to gamma and epsilon. And there's also a new technology other than binaural beats, which is like a strobe light effect, like a drumming effect, which is like an isochronic tone, which is a constant drum beat. If anyone heard shamanic drums, which is a constant drumming beat, it's like entraining your brain waves, and you can listen to certain sound patterns, sound frequencies, which have this isochronic tone. So it's pretty much how the Lucia light works too, but with light. This is entraining your brain, your closed eyelids through your brain software, I guess, to help stimulate different parts. And the same with the sound technology as well. Using these isochronic tones alongside with the Lucia light machine, you can help induce faster states, deeper states of consciousness much faster. For example, Tibetan monks, they take 15 years to reach a deep theta state of consciousness. 15 years, okay? Right, naturally, meditating, getting deep and in peace. Listen to this technology for about 5 minutes, you're right in there, okay? It's a training wheel, it's crutches, it's a tool. So it's something I would say it's important to use in your life, but there's a time where you don't need it. And for myself, a person who's had a long history of when I was younger, having a lot of ADHD and non-concentration, I was never really concentrated. After listening to a lot of the binaural beats, also known as hemisync, patented name, it helped me to be a lot more better concentration, a lot more strong, and a lot more here rather than me being daydreaming. So if I've been talking, I've been off somewhere, I do apologise. But so the benefits of light and sound together are very, very powerful. A friend of mine has a massive, I think a 45-inch gong. Anyone heard of the gong before? Heard of the gong? Okay. When you use the gong with the light machine or just the gong and the light machine alone, you're also feeling these physical vibrations through your body. So there were some pictures on here earlier, I don't think with the gong, but you're experiencing that light and sound together. It's all vibration, it's all sound particles and waves of light. So this is a retreat centre in Bridgewater in Somerset. It's a family-run business. My mother being the caretaker and the manager of the place, myself being the main manager and director. And it's built 4 of us as a family: my mum, my dad, my uncle, and myself. It took us 7 years to build the place from scratch, basically. Some of them had to take a lot of the walls down, recreate some of the rooms, and even some out rooms such as the cabin here, where we do some online on-site healing and massage. I'm talking about the retreat because the Lucia light machine, we have two lamps there, and some of the workshops I want to include, which involve like diet, like group work, group activity, deep meditations using some of the hemisync, the binaural beat technology, as well as my own music also. So this is some of the rooms at the retreat. Some friend there who's in one of the check units, which is one of the accommodation rooms. There's lots of like garden and scenery around, main workshop space. So the retreats I'm going to be promoting are like unplugged and timelessness retreats. Okay, and we use the light machine, we use sound technology to get you deeper states of consciousness. And I urge people to turn off their phones the whole time. Okay, don't connect to the internet. Completely just be with themselves and a notepad, a book. So we start the day. Pardon?
Just going to say,
sure.
The pictures I've stayed there, and the pictures don't do it justice. It's a beautiful place.
Thank you.
It really is, and very lovely energy as well. But it's beautiful there.
Thanks.
I agree with that. The pictures don't.
No, don't do it justice.
You can say more. So the retreat took about 7 years to build as a family. We're still ongoing and evolving the place as well. But my dream, my goal, my aim is to use these tools of consciousness to help people. The light machine, the binaural beat technology, and using my own experience also with like lucid dreaming, like psychic exercises, group exercises. So it's kind of like dipping in and out. You have a lot of like group exercises, group connections, like mutual, you find a partner which you connect with, which you use in like mutual dreaming exercises. Go away and you'd be like meditating for a certain amount of time, like an hour, then come back, you have some feedback, you have some food, a little bit of body movement, a bit of energy exercise and energy work. And the main focus is, I mean, we've all heard of mediumship, that's probably why you're here this weekend, but I believe that a medium is just a middleman, like you don't need to go to a medium, I believe. Like you can get these answers for yourself, okay? And how you do this is on the retreats that I'm promoting is having the retreat space to learn from each other, to get answers, but also to really tap in and dial into your own psychic awareness, which you can all do. So we start the day with like an early morning wake up routine for like enhancing like lucid dreaming. I'll like show you through some like some processes to do that. And then the rest of the day is there's a sense of no time. All clocks are completely taken away from the place. You have no idea what time it is. So you have like your showers and breakfast. Then you have like a long meditation. Come back with like the group session room where we do maybe some energy work, some offloading, talk about anything personal that you want to get off your chest. And also like group connecting. So we'd do some like sound healing together. Psychic exercises, and then there'll be lots of times throughout the day where you just be in and out of meditation. And usually when people come to these workshops, I haven't got many pictures up there of that at the moment, but when they come to the workshops, they're in their pajamas half the time because it's like they're in and out of meditation. So what a perfect retreat for your mind, body and spirit, where you're just relaxed, you're in meditation, you come out, you're fed, go back into meditation, go in a bit of group activity, you go back into bed, into session, or if it's good weather outside, go and sit under a tree or whatever you want. But the idea is all the beds at the retreat, it's like spaces for 17 people, and they all have the headphone jacks by the side of the bed, and you just plug yourself in your headphones, put an eye mask on, sit up in your bed or lay down, and you can go through all the audio technology which is pumped through the whole retreat from the sound room to the audio room. So yeah, we have a roundhouse which is in the gardens, which sometimes used for evening activities, put the fire on, like fireside chat. So there's not many pictures of the retreat I've got there, but lots of good food. And also the food is very important also. Trying to keep it vegetarian and vegan at least. We have lots of superfoods involved. Things just like spirulina. You know heard of spirulina? Yes. Okay, no one doesn't know what it is. It's a blue-green algae, which is either in a tablet form or powder. You might think algae, but this is it's one of the highest known proteins out there, with many different amino acids. With also some of the biggest marine animals out there. We're not a fish or a whale, but blue whales eat marine phytoplankton, which is very similar to spirulina, and it contains a lot of minerals, proteins, amino acids, and it's very important for our bodies also. So it's shown it suits our bodies. So taking certain supplements like that, especially as a lot of like raw chocolate, so everyone loves chocolate usually. Lots of antioxidants, so things like that too. And got some friends who do the food and the smoothie side and the food, and they're really good at it also. They know what they're doing, they know the health benefits. So coming to the retreat, it's a cleansing for your mind, body and spirit. You know, you have your body, which is the basis of your whole body, where you're getting these right ingredients put in you, and it's like a weekend or a week-long program to experience this. Like, why not? It's just a week out of your life where it may help transform you, it might change you. People who have gone vegan and had these superfoods have experienced a lot more rejuvenation in themselves. They feel younger, they start to look younger, they feel more vibrant, because you're feeding your body the absolute best vitamins that you know for you, that are scientifically proven to do good. It's not alternative medicine. Alternative medicine is a name that's been around for such a long time that it's old medicine that's been around for thousands of years, in many different tribes around the whole world, using certain very powerful ingredients such as garlic, turmeric. These are very, very, very important to us. And the list goes on, it's everything. So it's creating meals, it's creating food which are very good for your body. And I believe you experienced some of the food as well, also didn't you, at a retreat?
I had some of the chocolate.
Yeah, nice, wasn't it?
Very nice.
So, it's not all about the food, it's other areas here. These are all the pillars which help support us, mind, body and spirit. And if you can feed all three of those, then you're going to come back feeling changed. And those that do leave the retreat usually do feel really good and really positive, rejuvenated there.
Do you have printouts about all this?
I've got some leaflets here of the workshops I'm doing. So there's some links on there which can take you to sites. So I'm in the process of creating a new website and doing other things at the moment. I'm just doing lots of changing about, but I do have information with me, and there'll be more coming soon also. So,
Nadrin,
yes.
you were speaking about the sounds that can help with your sleep patterns. I
Yes.
forget what you called them. Are there discs with these sounds on the top? Because I'm dreadful for sleeping. But also, my granddaughter, who's only 11, she sleeps maybe 3 hours a night, which you can imagine is just, after all these years, is absolutely destroying her parents, basically. And she's had all sorts of treatments which haven't worked. I was wondering whether there is any sort of discs like that.
Yeah, I don't have any with me. I wish I did, but I can put you in touch with a supplier. And if you ever go to Glastonbury, there's a shop there that sells it. A place called Enlightenment. Have you heard of the shop, Glastonbury? It's where they sell lots of singing bowls. Yeah. High Street. They sell some Hemisync there. Hemisync, which is a brand name, which is short for hemispheric synchronization, which is this binaural beat technology. It's been around for about over 50 years, scientifically proven, lots of research, and still research going into it too, for helping people with sleep problems, anxiety. The list goes on. Any sort of like any state of mind that you've ever been in or want to be in, you can recreate, because it's basically creating a whole brainwave state by, it's almost like tricking your brain to make you be in that certain state. So how it works, again, as I said earlier, you have 100 hertz in the left ear on a stereo headphones with music with these frequencies overlaid, and like 100 hertz in the left ear and a difference of 104 in your right ear, and that difference of 4 hertz creates a third frequency within your brain, whole brainwave pattern, focused whole brainwave state. So you can basically train your brain to get into, for better sleeping, relieving anxiety, focus emotions, stop smoking.
It would be safe for a child, would it?
Yes, definitely. I mean, some people even play music to the babies, whilst they're sleeping, and they don't have to wear headphones either. They can just have it on speakers outside of the head. So animals benefit from it also. They can tap into this, and some frequencies are also played in certain classrooms for people with ADHD and concentration, just by placing 2 speakers either side of the room, which can just synchronise your brain waves. The best is wearing headphones or speakers either side your head, but it can work in a room. So yeah. Are there any other questions at all?
I'll get you to write the name down for me.
I was reading that if you have low magnesium levels, and that it's quite hard to test magnesium levels apparently, that it does affect your sleep, and lots of people
Because she's
suffer from it.
dreadful with eating. She won't eat anything, hardly. Went to my granddaughter.
I mean, I know you can get sprays that you can spray onto muscles and things because it helps with cramp, but I don't know enough about it, to be honest, but it's something to look into. Magnesium levels, lots of people suffer from lack of sleep.
Well, you're talking about binaural beats in your ears. Does this light machine work with different frequencies in each eye separately, as frequencies in your ears?
I guess in a sense that is similar. It doesn't work like the binaural beats work, but they've got...
Do both eyes get the same signals, or do they?
Yes. Yeah, they both get the same signal. It's more so it's not so... The light machine isn't working on your eyes, otherwise it'd just be two LEDs. I mean, you've got two. They flash different pulses, and this is how they create these different mandalas and internal visionary experiences inside your mind. And if you're up for having a go today, we're doing 5-minute sessions, which after you can have longer sessions by contacting me if you wish. But what you'll see first of all is you'll see like a whiteness, and after a while it entrains your mind and internal processes and visionary experiences where you start to see some colour. So all the white flashing LEDs flicker at different rates, and they're creating like a strobe-like effect, which you'll see things from your brain basically. So yeah. Yes.
So I'm very interested about the pineal gland, how it affects, because I didn't have any idea that that could get calcified and affected, and affect what's going on in your brain or behind your brain. So if you didn't take calcium or you changed your diet, would all that calcification come off? Would it go back to as it should be, or is that damage already done?
No, it's anything. Like any illness I believe any illness that you have, or some sort of calcification in your body, or any problems, it can all be healed with your diet, with fasting also. But also by decalcifying the pineal gland, it can take a while, but it's how dedicated are you to be a clear vessel, a clear channel within your life, have better longevity, you live longer, etc. And it's all part of our diet. It's all down to the micro, it's down to the smallest particle of us. And what that comes from is by feeding us, physically from foods. Biggest thing is tap water. There's in some toothpaste they say if you ever smell like a tiny bit of toothpaste, go to the hospital immediately. Why is that? Because it contains fluoride. And how much fluoride is in that little bit of toothpaste, that pea-sized toothpaste, is in well, half of this bottle basically. So they're saying that there's a lot of fluoride in the water which calcifies our pineal gland, which is there to numb us down. This is all conspiracy stuff, I know, but do your research. It's all out there on the internet. If you type in fluoride poisoning and what it does to us, the information is out there. So do your research.
When you say calcify, are you actually talking about like putting in bone, calcifying as in creating bone?
I don't know about that fully. I know there's that the pineal gland is like an organ, like a very small organ.
So how do you calcify it? I don't understand how you calcify it.
Well, it's calcified by it's covered over. It gets
It's
like
like
a
a head, isn't it? Like
yeah,
a
like black.
Yeah.
Yeah, which it's basically stopping it from being itself. It's stopping it from breathing almost. You know, it's like putting a cover over it, and it's not doing its job. It's getting like frozen. It's getting like solid. So it's like when you see pictures of lungs where they're like black from like smoking, and then you see a picture of your lung with like healthy lungs, which is pink. You know, your pineal gland should look pink and healthy and vibrant. But some pictures that you saw earlier was like some whiteness over it, which is like a calcification, which again, like calcium products, they can lead to that, and especially like fluoride in the water also.
It's quite funny. I was just reading an article the other day about calcification in the ear, and they were saying that fluoride actually stops the calcification in the ear.
Yeah, it's again. Who do you want to believe? Do you want to believe that like the NHS and our governments are?
Just a study.
Yeah, but then like you know, I've been to some dentists and said, oh, I don't want any fluoride or anything. They're like, why? And they don't even know, and they're practicing dentists and they have no clue. They're just following orders of their job. They don't do their research. You know, all the information is out there, but it's it's looking into it. And again, the only research that you need to do is on yourself. You know. Take fluoride out of your system from toothpaste, from drinking water.
You mentioned earlier about some of the benefits, but you mentioned something about tumours.
Yes, that was just part of an article I read. It was in relation to I think the Lucia light machine is.
So is that scientifically tested that it can affect tumours?
I don't know about that. It's just something I read, but it's taken from the website of the Lucia light machine.
It's, for me, that is quite a statement.
Yes.
If it's not backed up.
Yes, definitely. I need to do my research on that, so thank you. But I want to be honest, be honest.
How would you think that would affect a tumour, that action, if it actually did? How would it affect? By sort of zapping it with an energy that might kind of change the frequency of the tumour, basically, I suppose.
I would like to say yes, and also if you know much about spiritual healing and Reiki, using. I believe so. It's using light energy to help enhance that. So I've done my research on the tumour part. I will do when I get back.
Do some research, because if that really worked, that would be fantastic, wouldn't it? Or for all the people getting brain tumours now.
Yeah, a lot of that's from phones, mobile phones, radiation, and I think maybe fluoride has something to do with this also. I don't know. But again, this is all just simple information which maybe I've opened up your minds today, and you can go home, probably research this stuff and think, do I really know everything, or what can I know more? What can I fuel my body? And if you're interested, come to one of the workshops I run at the retreat.
Does it start with vertigo?
Vertigo, I don't know actually.
Because I'll get a bit of vertigo, and so I'm quite happy and willing to have a go on your machine.
Yeah, well, if you ever go and see if it does help.
I'd like to go because I don't sleep. I was hoping it might. I'm terrible at sleeping. I don't know. There are a lot of people like it.
Yeah.
Do you think we're all going through some energy weird change here? We just can't sleep that much anymore?
It's more the electromagnetic radiation that was surrounding all the technologies.
We're on mobile phones all the time.
Okay, so I'm going to do a quick demo on the light machine. Does anyone like to be a guinea pig?
Yes, me please.
I think we all would.
Okay, well, you have the first one, and everyone can see what works.
Don't come back.